Hello, everyone. Hello, this is Couch Conversation with Sherri Harris. Allgood. Thank you all for joining me tonight. Shout out to Ebony Gibson, who is the writer and the singer of this song, I'm Building Something. Y'all, I was able to find her. It is just so it's so ironic and it's just so divine that we're actually in this same group together on Facebook, Meta Business, and she's this entrepreneur. And so I don't know, I was just listening to the song. I was like, you know what? I love that song. I want to know if she has any other hits out there as well. So I typed in her name, searched her name on Facebook, and it came up that she was in the same group. So I just friended her, and she friended me back. And so we've been talking back and forth. So shout out to Ebony Gibson. Y'all look her up. This hit of I'm Building Something came out. I think it was about 6 years ago. So she's been out for a minute, but she's an entrepreneur and helping those other entrepreneurs. And y'all know that's my heart, is building up our marginalized communities and assisting through community organizing, as well as business development and job creation in those marginalized communities. So you see, the Black journey continues. We did a couple of weeks ago, we had this gathering, and y'all, it was phenomenal. I think I mentioned it last week, but listen, when another Black journey continues, summit or conference come up, y'all go ahead and mark your calendars. Our next one is in November, so it's right after Thanksgiving. And we have a summit. We have powerful speakers, people coming out and sharing information that is just so impactful. It's so many resources out here, y'all. And we just got to be willing to go out and build something, right? So like and share, y'all. Thank you once again. I'm here every Thursday night at 8:00 p.m. And I usually have some spotlights. I've been having business spotlights for quite some time now, for the past month. But I want you all to go and go back and on my YouTube channel, Prepare to Impact, and you'll see those businesses that we highlighted in those conversations as well. Tonight, this is what we're going to focus on, okay? Tonight, because you all, you know what? I don't think we really understand who we have in our midst. Okay, I don't think we understand, especially in our rural communities. What tends to happen is we can have these major giants. I'm talking about some change agents, some history makers that are in our small towns or in our counties, and we miss it, y'all. We miss it. We miss their contributions. We miss what it is that they have to deposit and what they're giving to these communities, what they have to offer to these communities, because it all gets put in this small town politics, right? This whole, where people say, okay, you somebody and you not somebody. Oh, we're going to award you this. And while those who are working in the background and have boots on the ground, where they are often looked over and not paid attention to. And y'all, we gotta see who's in our midst. With SCA, Sand Hills Cooperation Association, we've found some major players in the counties that we serve that are really overlooked. They're under-resourced, and they're not getting any attention. And I'm telling y'all, they are, like I said, they are the boots on the ground. We talked to one last week, Sherilla Horton, who has boots on the ground doing some major things, y'all. And many times we look over them until after they die, right? And after they die, we're like, oh yeah, they contributed this and they did that. And we got this whole list of everything that they've done, when they can be in our midst. We have in Montgomery County, Almeda Armstrong. As a matter of fact, there's a fund, a scholarship in the name of Miss Almeda Armstrong, who SCA, we're looking for those, we'll be taking applications for those who want to apply. But y'all, Miss Almeda Armstrong has done some major things, not just in Montgomery County, but she served, y'all, on the North Carolina School Board. She was the chairman of the North Carolina School Board. Okay, y'all, I'm talking about coming out of Montgomery County, and she's still alive. Right? She's our present day hands-on. We can actually feel her. We can actually sit down and talk to her about what she had to endure, everything that she went through. And y'all, she is a major player. George Knight. Come on now. I know, they got these narratives out there about, different things, but these are some major players here in Montgomery County. And I know those who are listening in your own counties or in your own towns or cities, that you have some people that you can put your hands on, that you can talk to, and you can just pretty much commune with and conversate with. And we got to go and get these stories, y'all. We got to go and get this information, because there's a history that have been written that have been lies. Y'all hear me? There has been stories that have been put out there that is just, y'all, it didn't come from the ones that it rooted from the roots of it. So we getting this convoluted, we're getting this false narrative about our communities, about our history, and we just sit up there and acting like it's true. And y'all don't understand. People are erasing major events that have occurred in our history, especially within the Black communities. Y'all, I mean, I experienced it firsthand. Like out of the 12 pictures that were on the wall over here at the town hall in Troy, y'all, when the minute they put my picture up there, because I broke everything, broke all of that. So all of these white males, up until 11 white males on the wall, and then my picture get up there, and guess what they do? They take it down. They got their excuse for it, but come on, y'all. What's happening is our history is being told in a different way, in a different manner. And so what we have to do is we got to get our hands on this history. We got to get our hands on these major players. And I'm going to show you, and this is what was shown by T. Brookshire Harris Therese. He's my brother, y'all. And he did a presentation up in Raleigh about Peabody Academy. And Peabody Academy is here in the town of Troy, right here, y'all. And it is directly connected. And I'll show y'all bits and pieces of what he showed us and what he pulled together. But one of the things that he acknowledged, and we have to acknowledge, is with Peabody Academy, in our local newspaper, it was written that Peabody Academy was designed for Asian Americans, was designed for Hispanics, was designed for Native Americans and African Americans. And also it was like that. But listen, y'all, that history, that the paper was wrong. It was so off, y'all, just off, because Peabody Academy was made specifically for our Blacks that could not go to these public schools. So they had to build their own. And it was built from 3 people in the community board of trustees that came together in order to head it. And along with the American Missionary Association and the Freedmen's Bureau and all of that. And they sit down. So the community had to raise their own money, and the federal, the Freedmen Bureaus gave and contributed. But it was from the Black community that Peabody Academy was established, y'all. And so they did send down a principal, and Reverend Ellis. is who they sent down. But then after Reverend Ellis, we had a major player enter the town of Troy and stayed for a number of years, y'all. He was here. He came out of Africa, and I'm gonna show y'all, but came out of Africa, and out of all the towns, all the cities, all the states in the United States of America, guess where he showed up? Y'all, he came to Troy, North Carolina, and he taught and he built Peabody Academies, the curriculum, this empowerment. It was just full of tools and entrepreneurship and just promoting technical, right? With the building with the hands. So it was all tech. I know over at the high school, we got a CTI right now, but there was no technical school like Peabody Academy. And the people that Peabody Academy produced, y'all, are all over the nation, world changers, history makers, change agents is what came out of Peabody Academy. And I'm not going to talk much longer. I just want y'all to see bits and pieces of what was shown there. And this is the history that we have in our a small town of Troy, North Carolina. And I'm sure many of you all have history as well that we're just overlooking, and we don't realize it, and we're not teaching it to our children, right? And because we're not teaching it to our children, they don't know where they came from. People are riding by Peabody Academy every day and don't even know the history of it. But we're going to change that, aren't we? All right, so I want you all to see this. I'm going to pull it up real quick. Y'all be patient with me. And we're just going to see what happened here with Peabody Academy. And like I said, shout out to Therese Brookshire Harris, who put all of this. He did a research. He went different places, reached out to Tuskegee, reached out to all types of people, all places in order to get this information. So I'm just going to give you an excerpt of it. All right, y'all ready? Here we go.
In the K-12 area would be the Peabody Academy in Troy, North Carolina. Peabody Academy, originally a boarding school that attracted African-American students from Montgomery County and surrounding rural areas, was established in 1880 as a missionary school and church for African Americans. The American Missionary Association chose Troy, North Carolina for its location due to the high concentration of African Americans in the Montgomery County area. And they would send a white missionary from Massachusetts named Reverend William Ellis, drawn to a noble cause to help educate the Negro in the South while spreading the virtues of Christianity. Reverend Ellis and the American Missionary Association were well aware that the large part of the success of a new school would require the support of the local community and its leadership. Local townsmen began to brainstorm and organize, and before long, a 3-member board of trustees was formed for the purpose of partnering with the AMA to build new schools. The 3 members consisted of Peter Green, Alexander Powell, and James Cron. These early leaders were formerly enslaved men, led by the eldest, Peter Green, who would work alongside Reverend Ellis for the establishment of a new Negro school. After several years of planning, design, and organizing, a wooden church was built as well as the Negro school. The church was established as the first congregational church, and the school was named Peabody Academy, demonstrating the virtue of ambition. Reverend Ellis became the school's first principal and also served as a minister of the church. The early teachers were 2 African-American sisters, Annie and Carrie Smitherman, who were enslaved prior to the Civil War. But it would take an African by the name of Orishatuka Fujuma, the son of Yoruba parents, to transform Peabody Academy into an institution of excellence.
My name is Olushatuke Faduma. I am a husband, father, teacher, minister, and advocate for African culture. I'm also the 3rd principal of the esteemed all-black school, Peabody Academy in Troy, North Carolina. I was born in 1855 to my honorable parents, John and Omolofi Faduma. I want to tell you a little about my parents. They were members of the African village in Yoruba land, a cultural region in West Africa that spans the modern-day countries of Nigeria, Togo, and Benin. My parents were captured and were on the verge of being sold as slaves to the United States when the British Navy recaptured them on a slave ship in the Atlantic Ocean. They eventually ended up in the British Guiana, South America. This is where I was born on September 15, 1855. I attended school in one of the leading Christian establishments in the colony, the Methodist Boys High School, founded as the Wesleyan Boys High School. I excelled in high school and earned multiple academic achievements. Later, I traveled to England to further my education, and I hold the distinction of being the first West African student to earn a Bachelor's of Arts degree from the University of London in 1884. In 1891, I traveled to the United States to further my education as one of the few Africans to do so. I was fortunate enough to be the first African student to enroll at Yale Divinity School. I persevered and studied hard to earn a bachelor's degree in theology from the prestigious Ivy League school and continued my postgraduate studies there until I graduated and I received a master in divinity in 1895. I was closely associated with the African Methodist Episcopal Church. It was the AME Church, the first separate religious denomination for Black Americans, that ordained me as a minister. But I was also able to build a strong affiliation with the leadership of American Missionary Association. This put me on the unlikely path of landing in Troy, Montgomery County, North Carolina. The AMA founded more than 500 schools and colleges for the freed of the South during and after the Civil War. One of those Negro schools in the South was Peabody Academy in Troy, North Carolina. Peabody Academy was an outstanding all-black institution established in 1880. In 1895, I relocated to Montgomery County, North Carolina, where I was not only appointed the principal of the Peabody Academy, but I also became the pastor for the Congregational Church, also affiliated with the AMA. The Negro boarding school attracted eager students not only from the surrounding rural areas of the town of Troy, but also the surrounding towns of Biscoe, Mount Gilead, Candor, and Star. Under my leadership, Peabody Academy succeeded in her studies.
Fujuma was persuasive, energetic, and witty. And in Peabody, he found a living laboratory where he could put all of his experiences in progressive Christianity to test. He would serve at Peabody Academy for almost 20 years in an era that he himself described as the period of self-help. All white instructors who had previously been in charge of the academy had been replaced by African Americans, following the policy of the American Missionary Association to raise leaders among the people who could continue the work of the missionaries. During this golden age for the rural North Carolina Negro School, Fujuma slowly and meticulously overhauled the curriculum at Peabody Academy into a prestigious program of industrial and economic arts. Another major contribution was bringing the teachings of West African thinkers to the attention of the rural Black American blacks while applying cultural nationalism. Principal and Pastor Fujuma would serve Peabody Academy and the community of Troy along with its surrounding areas until 1914, but he left an illustrious legacy.
Listen, y'all. I know that's a lot to take in all at one time. That's a lot. It's a lot. But this man, Reverend Dr. Faduma, we call him Fatima. There's a street down in the town of Troy off of South Main Street that they call Faduma Street. I think it's something else. They call it, somebody else help me with it. But they call it something else. But y'all, this man, first of all, he was the first graduate from the University of London. Okay. Then it said, then we know that he was the first student of Yale University, right? Dr. Faduma. And he came here in the town of Troy. This is where I live, so Montgomery County. And he stayed here for around 17 years. And if you want to see the rest of that documentary, just look up Peabody Legacy, I think it is. I'll put it in my comments after. But you're able to go and see the entire just all the compilation. And this is just part one. So there's other series that that T. Brookshire Harris will be doing. But y'all, he was here in the town of Troy for, I think it was around 17 years. It may have been, if not longer. I'm not sure. But while he was here, he established so much. Like, he contributed and poured in to all of the students. And I'm gonna tell you, 9 out of 10 times, if you check your record or your history, or your lineage, someone was impacted by Peabody Academy. Especially if you living in Montgomery County. If you live in Montgomery County, there's still people alive today that went to Peabody Academy. Do y'all hear me? So although they may have not been there during the time of Faduma, but they were able to gain the knowledge that went forth out of this institute. And it's right down the street. And so, but the reason why we really don't know this history, and we do not, and the only way we would know it, y'all, is based upon somebody who went. Because if you check around, the only thing that has Faduma's name on it is a street in South Main Street. As much contribution as he's made to this county and to the people of this county, y'all, all he get is snuff. I think it's Snuff Street is what they call it. They call it Snuff Street. And that's it. We don't see Faduma, his name, anywhere else in this county. As a matter of fact, we don't see much of anything that deals with Peabody in this county. That's an issue. Y'all, that's an issue. Because what we're doing is we're erasing our rich history, the rich history, not just of the Black communities, but the rich history of Montgomery County, North Carolina, out of all the states, all of the towns, all of the places, all throughout the United States of America. They came here. He came here to Troy, North Carolina. There's no statues. If we're going to do some statues, we should at least have a statue of Faduma somewhere. If we're going to honor anything, if we're going to preserve, y'all, and this is the thing, if you look on the national registry, you will not find, I'm talking about the historical preservation. If you look on there, you're not going to find Peabody Academy on there. Why? So what's at the campus right now? I'm going to tell you what's at the campus right now. Troy Housing is there. Troy Housing is there. And there is there's a Peabody Museum, which I think they're planning on reopening it again. It used to open every third Saturday. I think at around 1:00 it may be. But it's located in the basement of Troy Housing. So underneath is where you would find, and there's some classrooms that have been given over to the Peabody Community Development Club. Also, there's a Peabody reunion that happens every year, every other year. I know all of this has been suspended based upon the COVID-19. But I think they're in the mix of getting that back started again. But y'all, listen, we have towns named after folk that did not do hardly nothing but separate us and hinder and oppress us. We have county names named after. We got buildings. We have all this other stuff that's just named after I'm not trying to down what they've done. I'm not trying to do it. But if you gonna name anything after anybody, Faduma ought to be somewhere. Peabody should be somewhere. Come on now, I don't know who I'm talking to, but y'all talk to y'all county commissioners, push it, because there should be something more other than just Snuff Street, right? Faduma. And many people don't even know why it's called Faduma. Like, who Faduma? Fatima? Who is that? Right? But we gotta push that. We gotta tell our story. We gotta tell our story, y'all, because our story is going to be erased. Y'all see what's happening now, even with they got this whole CRT and all y'all trying to do this. Listen, the stories need to be told some way. And we gotta tell it, y'all. We gotta tell it right. I know they want to put it in school and they want to teach it in school, but you know what? Who they gonna get to teach it? I'm just saying, because our story, if we don't tell our story, it's not going to get told correctly. If we don't tell our story, it's going to be erased. So this is conversations, right? Y'all, we just conversing, couch conversation with Sherri Harris, Allgood. There's if you remember Peter Green, the one that was in the video, that said that he was one of the 3 board of trustees. Peter Green was actually my grandfather's grandfather. All right. And as a result of that, that lineage, and not only that, but one of the other men, the Robinson man, and some of y'all listening to me right now, you know that you're in the lineage, and that's the lineage of my grandmother. So Peabody is not just a word to me. Peabody is a legacy to me. Peabody is just not something that just happened a long time ago, but Peabody is in my blood. I've never attended Peabody, but I have family members that through their blood, sweat, and tears, that they helped establish it. And not only that, I have my mom and my dad, right? So they are connected to Peabody. My grandparents are connected. Your grandparents, your people may be connected to Peabody. Now, what are we going to do about it? Right? Are we just gonna let it die? We just gonna let Troy Housing? I'm just gonna tell you, and they'll tell you over there. When I was mayor, I went and asked them, why y'all here? Y'all, I'm gonna be good tonight. But I asked, why y'all here? Why don't y'all go find y'all a place somewhere else? Go build y'all somewhere, right? Go over there where the housing is. Why y'all here at Peabody? Right? We need it back, y'all. And I know there's a history behind it, but at the end of the day, that's what happened then. I'm talking about what need to happen now. Right now, we need to take possession of what belongs to us, and that's Peabody Academy. Yeah, I'm starting. Yeah, I was getting ready to say I ain't starting something, but yeah, I'm starting something, because it shouldn't be Troy Housing. As a matter of fact, let's move over, because a part of that campus is also Montgomery County Schools, which we know as the Montgomery Learning Academy. That building belonged to the Peabody campus as well. That was a part of our history, a part of our legacy. And if you go around and you examine all of the schools that are located in Montgomery County, and you look at Montgomery Learning Academy, look at it. That's all you got to do. That tells you how much our history is appreciated. It tells you how much that our school board values that campus, because as we are pouring millions of dollars in other campuses, we see that one over there. Y'all, yeah, it's got a new roof, but that might be all it's got. So we have to have this conversation, this couch conversation. I love y'all. I'm getting ready to go. Amen. Y'all take that. Y'all Selah it. And start asking these questions. Why is Peabody? Why is the name Peabody not even being reverenced or respected? Why is the name Peabody or Faduma not heard in our county. Why is it? And why are we allowing it to be that way? All right, y'all, this is Couch Conversations with Sherri Harris Allgood. I'll see y'all next week at 8:00 p.m. for some more conversation. I love y'all. God bless you. Take care.